We talked about kids.
Yeah, true. But just so you guys know, because you guys are, beautiful women. You guys are still like women, right? But men, right? Men see a baddie, we think like, I'm gonna get her pregnant. That's what men think when they see a baddie.
What do you do when you think you are above the program, but that man quickly reminds you that you are not? Shanice thought she was gonna get special treatment from the game, but he was like, I mean, he does have a lot of respect for her, but he was not gonna be sitting up there playing house like she wanted him to. Save this as your friendly reminder that you are never above the program.
Girl, Shanice is spiraling after the game let the world know he never chose her. In his eyes, she was just another chapter, another baby mama, nothing more. Online, people aren't only clowning Shanice for ignoring the signs, they're also blaming Evelyn for pushing her daughter into groupie territory just to cling to relevance. But listen, Evelyn is furious now, publicly dragging the game for walking away. The wild part? Shanice landed in the very nightmare she's been desperately dodging all along. And the fallout is louder, uglier, and permanent than ever.
Surprised that they weaponized the fact that you two had a baby against me on the show. Like, I had a feeling it would happen, but like, how did you feel about that? Because
they called you a felon.
Yeah. I mean, true.
Are you a felon?
I am. So I don't feel slighted by someone trying to like throw like my past at me. Yeah, I'm a felon. My mama know I'm a felon. My kids know I'm a felon. My fans know I'm a felon, and that's just what it is.
So the moment the game showed up on a podcast alongside Shanice and her mother, Evelyn Lozada. Part 1 and Part 2 are already live, and honestly, Shanice should have tapped out early because it's painfully obvious he was holding back, waiting patiently for the exact second to humiliate her on camera, publicly, deliberately.
Well, thank you for saying that you didn't give me enough grace, because I do agree with you. And I think a lot of my anger came from you not delivering what the expectations were.
Yeah.
So we'll leave that there.
The interview revealed far more than anyone expected, but what really jumped out was how little Shanice understood what she was stepping into with the game. What they had was never a real relationship, just a quiet situationship that only turned serious once Shanice became pregnant with their son Blawan. And to be honest, Shanice seemed comfortable staying hidden as the game's secret. She never showed him online. Even her own mother, Evelyn Lozada, had no idea anything was happening because Shanice knew being linked to him publicly wouldn't look good. Somewhere along the way, though, the game started selling dreams he never planned to deliver. Now, Shanice isn't naive, and one quick Google search should have sent her running in the opposite direction. It's hard to believe she didn't know the game's reputation, especially since they moved in the same circles for years. What makes it even crazier is that the game's ex-fiancée, Tiffany, was close friends with Evelyn for a long time. She even showed up to Evelyn's baby shower. A single episode of his reality show would tell you this isn't a man known for doing right by anyone. And somehow, Shanice claimed she didn't even know he was a felon until he casually admitted it on the podcast. That information is public, yet it shocked her. So when Shanice told the game she was pregnant, she expected excitement, love, a future, a family. Instead, his energy was cold and disconnected. That lack of joy shattered her expectations, flipped her world upside down, and reportedly left her breaking down in tears afterward.
When she told me, I was shocked a little bit. Like literally, I was shocked. And we got into this, thing like I love being a dad, right? Like absolutely love being a dad. But I was shocked as shit. And I don't think it was the reaction that Sha wanted. So she cried a little bit. And it was uncomfortable for her and for me.
Child, this makes no sense. What's wild is Shani still tried to explain it away. She insisted the game spoke their son into existence, obsessing over it until she finally became pregnant with Blawan. But child, the truth behind why the game wanted a baby is far darker than anyone realizes.
Just so you guys know, because you guys are, beautiful women. You guys are still like women, right? But men, right? Men see a baddie, we think like, I'm gonna get her pregnant. That's what men think when they see a baddie.
He didn't have a baby with her because he loved her. No, he saw a beautiful woman and treated the idea of a child like entertainment, something reckless and temporary. She wasn't unique, and every dream she attached to that situation was doomed before it even formed. Shanice may not be young, but the tragedy is that she built a future with a man who was playing her the entire time, while she stayed lost in fantasy. I mean, his name isn't the game by accident. How did she ever convince herself she'd get a ring, a forever, a perfect family, when every woman before her tried and failed? And it's clear the game enjoys the chaos. He feeds off women getting emotional over him. During the interview, there was even a moment where the game casually talked about marriage and how people supposedly flourish inside it.
I know people that have been married for 15 years that are fucking miserable,
Right.
that are miserable. And I look at that and I'm like, I feel like I'm doing good, right? Like I'm great. I'm not married yet, but I feel good and I'm happy to be exactly who I am. And I also know people who are, married and thriving. So I think that your happiness and what works out or what you feel didn't work out is like subjective to.
As he said it, his eyes stayed locked on Shanice, studying her face, waiting for a reaction. And that told you everything. The game knew she never wanted the baby mama label. Why else would she avoid motherhood until 30, only to risk repeating the same path as her mother, Evelyn? He understood she wanted commitment, stability, something that could turn into marriage.so while they were involved. He likely played into that desire, feeding her exactly what she needed to hear until she was completely wrapped around him. And when she asked how he'd feel if Shanice ever found a stepfather for their son, Blaze, his response was cold and calculated. He made it clear she's permanently connected to him now, and serious men won't be lining up anytime soon.
Now, if Sha got married next year, which is very unlikely because I'm not, it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with me. I'm telling you, there's a thing that like soon as someone figures out that like your baby daddy is the game, it gets a little tricky for a man because people think they know who I am, right? And so it gets a little, damn, am I gonna have to like catch a fade with this nigga? I know how he feels about his kids, so is he going, do I really feel like doing it? Yes, you're beautiful, and yes, I want to be with you, or yes, I love you, but I think that thought process and that courting stage lasts longer than a year, so it definitely won't be that.
Child, if this is what 46 years of growth looks like on a man, something is deeply wrong. He pulled an Offset-style move, acting like he won just by making her his baby mama. He framed her as less valuable, almost like a trophy he now owns. And honestly, it feels like he doesn't even want her married, because that would ruin his ability to come and go whenever it suits him. Throughout the podcast, Shanice sounded stunned, almost unable to process that he could treat her this way. You could hear it in her voice, cracking as she fought to stay composed. The real twist came after the interview dropped. Evelyn Lozada started speaking out, saying she watched it back and finally saw everything in crystal clear detail, realizing how the game manipulated her daughter. Shanice was trying to break generational patterns, aiming for a life completely different from her mother's. But all that patience, all that intention, collapsed the moment she realized the man she chose never wanted her, only the experience of putting a baby in her life. And people aren't buying the version of the story Evelyn is pushing. Folks are side-eyeing the idea that Evelyn Lozada, straight out of the Bronx, somehow failed to teach her daughter basic street smarts. That's hard to swallow, especially when Evelyn personally watched the game treat her friend Tiffany the exact same way. And still, she didn't warn her own child. Make it make sense. Evelyn Lozada has a long history of questionable choices with men, and she's seen enough to know better. If she had truly put her daughter on game, Shanice might have dodged the game entirely. Instead, it looks like she walked away with nothing but heartbreak. And that's the saddest part. The game targeted Shanice, got her pregnant, then things fell apart. Later, he openly admitted on her own podcast that his intention was to get her pregnant simply because she was attractive. Let that sink in. Honestly, some people are saying they'd almost respect Shanice more if it had been a reckless athlete, still active in the league. Messy, yes, but at least financially consistent. But the game looked Shanice in the face while she talked about him wanting more kids, and basically confirmed the mindset. Men see a beautiful woman and think, I'm going to get her pregnant. It's unbelievable.so. What do you think? Was Shanice completely played? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye. And seriously, don't get pregnant just for being a baddie.